know if you guys can see, but we're like full on, we got like this freaking freezing fog going on, which is weird. We don't like it.
Your hair looks gangster. 10 out of 10.
Ah! It changes everything, guys. It snowed a foot last night. You think it snowed a foot?
Yeah.
Snowed a foot.
Zuckerberg was like, wow, what a shitty caption.
It's like your caption is so dumb that we're not gonna allow it to be posted on Facebook.
Where did it go?
The cloud. Going to the cloud. I can't wait till you have a kid. You'll be like, Jay, what do I name it? If you want to be a YouTuber, you gotta pull your camera out.
How much you pull that camera out?
I got a shit ton on this. And I had to remind you to put your GoPro on.
Yo. That's not what I want. I want this one. What is up, people? How we doing out there? How's everybody's Thursday? Little Thursday evening throwdown. I'm drinking a little it's not like a latte, but it's not a latte, you know what I mean? What do you guys know, chat? Anything good? How we doing? We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We should probably get into it for everybody who watches later, but I threw a little Instagram poll up, or a little Instagram Q&A. And I don't know if anybody asked any questions. Okay. We got a few. But we're going to go through the entire Lynx lineup, I guess. Talk about some stuff for everybody interested in what's going on, because it's nobody really knows, you know. Not a huge year for product as far as new models go, really across the board. We have the new Shredder 4146 or the 3700 Turbo available in the US. Big win. Skidoo did some stuff with the free ride. That makes that sled quite a bit better, in my opinion. Polaris has a new track, I think. Some other stuff, I'm not really sure exactly what they did. Cat has the Catalyst that we've known about for 25 years at this point. It's a 600. I don't know how they're going to do it, but whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. A little bit of a slower year as far as stuff goes, because everybody just came out with so much. The Lynx trail side, they did more stuff, you know. We have new Radian platform and stuff like that. So, I got back from BC a couple weeks ago. Was up there for like 5 days. Before that, I was in Houston. Then we went to the cabin and rode there for a bit. So, yeah, it's been kind of busy. I haven't dropped a YouTube video in a couple weeks, which is unacceptable. But I have 2 videos that I need to get finished up and edited and delivered that are going to be sick. And, yeah, then go to Jackson next weekend for the World Championships. That's going to be super fun. Watch the boys throw down. I'm not racing. Not going to race. Because here's the deal. If I don't race, then I can talk shit forever. I can say, like, dude, if I was on that course, I'd kick your ass. But if I race, then everybody knows what I've got in the tank. So I'm just never going to race and just talk trash for the next 10 years. But as soon as I race and get my ass kicked, I can't talk trash anymore. It's like, you know, they don't know. Nobody ever knows what I could have done on the race course if I never get on the race course. You know what I mean? So I could be the best to ever do it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go hang out, and we're going to do videos and stuff like that as well. So we're stoked on that. It's going to be fun. So if you guys have questions regarding sled stuff specifically, drop it in the chat. How the chat works because there's about 4 guys who like to chat whenever I go live. It's Owen and Aiden and a few others. And then everybody else just sits here. The more you guys interact in the chat and ask questions and give me feedback, the better I can like interact with you, because I have no script. Like about an hour ago, I was like, I'm going to fire up the live stream, talk about some stuff, watch some stuff. And then I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. So I need you guys to interact with me in order to make this worth everybody's time. Okay? You're just as important to this little show I got going on as I am. So if you have any questions, throw them at me. Doesn't matter what they are. Yeah, but we're doing good. Aiden's going after the money. Aiden's a young kid. He's been in the chat every time I'm ever live, ever. So I hope everything goes well for you, my guy. Jeffrey, I just put 60 miles on my new shredder. Turbo DS, absolute ripper. True. Never would have bought it without watching your stuff. Thanks, my guy. I appreciate that. Glad you like it as well. It's a different ride for sure. I think overall, from a mountain sledding standpoint, what I am slightly bummed about from the consumer, I'm just going to say this. I don't know if this is the best way to say this, but people want new shit and then they complain about different shit. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we want this. And then as soon as they get something else, they're like, well, we don't like it. And it like what I kind of mean by that is people, I don't think a lot of guys give certain things enough, like time to like get used to it. So that's if you write a BRP product, if you write a Skidoo or Lynx, the chassis is so different from a Polaris or a Cat. And if you hop from one chassis to another, you're going to hate the Snowmobile. I guarantee that. Because you're used to what you're used to, especially if you're a really good rider. So, like, giving it time to kind of get used to things and actually seeing how it rides and feels, I don't know that we do that enough, like, as an industry, to, like, really give something a shot. If that makes sense? Because I hear these things, and I have these conversations, and, like, I'm also one guy that can, honestly, I can ride anything, and I kind of mend my riding to kind of what I'm riding, but there are certain things that I am particular about. So that's that. Whatever. It's a rant. Look at the chat after I said that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys are killing it. We got topics for days now. Let's go to a little bit of this here. Just let this roll in the background for a second as I answer a couple of these questions. So the Brutal 850. This is a snowmobile that a lot of people, I don't even think they know that we have this in the US. I haven't actually ridden it, but I want one. Is it under X-Train? No. Oh, here it is. So this sled is actually super sick. I want it to go ride. Two things I want it to do. I want to go take it into the backcountry to take my friends backcountry skiing and snowboarding. And I also want to take it to our cabin and ride it out there because it's like the perfect sled for that. So it has a 20-inch wide track. Look down here. 20-inch wide track, 2.4-inch paddle, 154. So it's ridiculous. They updated the don't need to enhance my ride right now. They updated the suspension this year. Is there a photo? So they put piggybacks on the front of it. I think they're 36 millimeter like shocks you can see right here. They updated the rear skid a little bit. It's kind of a cool snowmobile. It's $18,000. So it's expensive, just like everything is, but it's kind of a cool unit. If you could like have them all, it'd be a cool one. I think if you want to the idea behind it is it's a work play like sled. That's kind of cool. It's actually really grown on me, the idea of one. It'd be fun to have. But I don't know. I might be able to get my hands on one and do some content around it. I think that would be fun to go like do a trip with one out at our cabin in Eastern Oregon where it's like flat and it's not crazy gnarly. Like this sled would be sick. Like I could just go like cruise all day, go like see all these abandoned old cabins, explore, that kind of stuff. I think it'd be really fun. So maybe we'll get Lynx on board for something like that. Why does Lynx now offer the DS 3900 in an A? Oh, does not offer. I actually don't know the answer to this question. So what they did is they basically swapped the two sleds. So last year you could get a naturally aspirated DS, and this year you cannot get a naturally aspirated DS, but you can get a naturally aspirated RE. So I don't know why they did that. Might be I guess they're thinking that like the DS rider that's going to order the DS is more apt to like want a turbo. So like a 65 turbo only. I'm not sure why they did it. So I don't know why they did that, but still a good sled for that. So so loud in my ears. So painfully loud. But that black sled right there is kind of the talk of the town right now. Because it's the 4600 or 4700 turbo RE. It's going to be a sled that I'm going to have next year. For sure. So that's one for sure that I will be getting. Everybody's talking about it. Bergmark's riding wheelies for absolute days on the thing. But I still think that, I mean, it's going to be it's a fine deep snow sled, but it's a 2.5 track, which I think is the right call on it. I don't think it should have a 3-inch. It's kind of more tailored for maybe those like 80% of days that you're going to ride. You're going to have 20, depending on where you live, you're going to have 20% of your days where you're like, damn, I wish I could go up more things. All I'm doing is doing wheelies over myself all day. So that's something to think of a little bit. And I'm pretty sure in North America, it only comes in black. That one, which a lot of you guys have asked for, is a black Lynx, which I think is sick as well. If they brought the whole lineup over, be dope. So Austin asks, coming off a 22 DS, ordered a 24 Shredder RE, how much stiffer is the suspension setup? It's not necessarily stiffer. What it allows you to do is have adjustability, and it also is just going to hold up longer and better, if that makes sense. it's going to be, I think it's a little bit stiffer, but what you get with the RE stuff is you get that compression adjustment, high speed, low speed rebound adjustment in the rear. You get basically the 3 positions on the front ski shocks. So you get a lot more adjustability out of it. And if you want to make it stiffer, you can have those shocks valved stiffer and put really good components in them and like make it like a really good sled. Like I've been leaving my stuff stock. I turn up the clickers a little bit in the rear just to be a little bit firmer, but Bergmark and those guys in Sweden, they just throw everything at them and like they revalve them super stiff. They're like snowcross sleds. I can't. Get this off the screen. Let's do this. Stand by. That might be better. My face isn't in the thing on. It's on my screen anyways. All right. Mel just went huge with this 30. I'm assuming 3700 RE turbo in Toronto. That's going to be massive. Have so much fun. Yeah, so Rusty, you're talking about exactly what I was talking about, basically rebuttaling what I said on guys don't ride enough to give things the time of day sometimes because it feels different at first. Some guys like it to like they immediately like the change and like in like 2 hours they're like, oh yeah, this is way better. So it's also a setup thing. That's the tough part is like half the time guys don't even set their sleds up right. So then you're just screwed out the box. Or the tricky part about the sled industry is you can get something and immediately ruin your snowmobile. You can get an aftermarket part and like destroy your snowmobile. So, yeah, that's one thing to do. They put the 600 in the release video because it's a global release video. That's just the only reason they did that. We shot all of the mountain sleds at one, like in 3 days. And that was the whole campaign for all the mountain sleds. I don't think they shot any more mountain stuff. So when they do that, they just like do a global release on it. It's a little bit confusing. That's why I'm trying to like maybe clear some things up because sometimes it does get a little bit confusing. And dealers sometimes struggle, to be honest. So with like what is actually available, what like, you know. So. Oh, that's the other. Yeah, Mark brings up a great point. The 34 to 36 is, I'm like kind of indifferent about it. Honestly, I think it's a rider preference thing. You could, the 34 it's just another way to differentiate those two snowmobiles and give you guys more options as consumers, I think. I think that 34 is going to be a cool, quick, fun, like mountain sled at DS. A lot of people are really liking it. Obviously, Skidoo went 34 last year with Expert and stuff, and I did ride it a little bit. It felt good. It's easy to ride. The thing that I don't necessarily love about the 34 every day is it makes the sled easier to panel out. So that's when you're on a super steep side hill, and it's so steep that your side panel hits the snow and pulls the ski out of the snow. So it's like this. And then you lose the front end downhill. I don't love that. So that's not a great feeling all the time. But it does make it easier to ride, to do turns, stuff like that. If you're riding really good snow, it's really fun. It is a little bit squirrelier, I would say. And I think they obviously kept the Shredder RE in a 36 to keep it that more stable, faster, aggressive sled that can jump and do all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm still happy with the 36. That's where I ride. I ride at 36 on center. So I remember when we went to 36 and it was a big deal. Everybody was like, is this too narrow? Now we're 34. Who knows where we'll be next? Have you guys seen the Lynx brand video? You know what's crazy? I haven't even seen it. Don't tell anybody though. Just between you and I have not seen it. Where? I don't even know where it'd be. Mark, are you talking about the track? 15 to 20. The only sled that has a 20-inch wide track is the Brutal in the Lynx lineup. Everything else is 15. Or I think the Rave is still 16, maybe. I'm typing on the wrong computer. Oh, this is it.
Finnish people are a special kind of tough. Now we even have our own word for it. Sisu. At Lynx, the concept of Sisu has inspired the design of our toughest snowmobiles ever. Take this year's Shredder, for example.
Damn,
Its turbo
son.
engine gives you 180 horsepower. Talk to me. Or check out the new Rave RE. Its Radiant 2 platform makes Tero here very happy.
That guy Taro right there, he's the suspension guy at Lynx. He does all the calibrations. And he's like super fast on a sled. I think he used to be a pro racer. I can't remember. He doesn't speak any English, so I haven't really got to talk to him much. He only speaks Finnish.
Yeah. And then there's the X-Terrain. Its new platform means it takes no prisoners. And neither does she.
She's a professional race car driver also.
And that's how you say, just the tip of the iceberg. So, check out the new Lynx Snowmobile lineup. Now tougher than ever before.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Um, Mark, I think you'll find that the just the like the mountain platform is gonna just. I mean, I wouldn't be worried about the flotation difference between the 20 and the 15. Like just the way the sled is set up and like the ski, everything to do with the sled, it just. I mean, they're built for it. They will go way better, and they get on top of the snow better. And yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that flotation. As far as track width goes, Austin, I actually have been a big proponent of the 15 wide. I think it feels better underfoot, so it feels quicker edge to edge, if that makes sense. So, you know, you're narrower, so it'll go from here to here faster, and I can get the track underneath my foot quicker as well. It's kind of snowboarders refer to it as like an edge to edge on a narrow board versus a wide board. A wide board takes more time to get edge to edge, whereas a narrow board gives edge to edge quicker, which is faster. Some guys don't love the talk is like, does the 16 float better or not? And I think in certain snow conditions, it does float better, but it depends on where you ride, how much you ride, the snow like all of these things. And I don't think it's not like it's like just absolutely destroying you every day. Like the 16 is that much better at like floating than the 15. It just depends on A, the snow conditions, and like B, the difference that I feel is negligible. I don't really feel it at all, if I'm being honest. I do feel it underfoot a little bit better. And then like the free ride went to a 15 wide track as well in Skidoo. So, but buy a Lynx Shredder RE. You know what I mean? We're not trying to cannibalize our sister company over there at Skidoo. And it's like 3 pounds lighter, I think, the track with it. 15 wide. Talking about suspension, it's a little bit of so for the top 10% of riders out there, you typically are gonna think the sled's too soft with stock valving, because they're kind of valved for the 80% of riders that aren't going to necessarily like ride it as hard and huck as hard. And that's just a statement across the board. That's been true forever. There is some balance there, however, with like sometimes they're also calibrated for getting on top of the snow and performing in deep snow. So you can add valving to the sled and do all these things. And then if your rear skid is too stiff, then it's not going to wheelie as much. If your front track shock's too stiff, it's going to wheelie too much. So there's all kinds of things that kind of come into play with suspension valving. Some people really like a really like soft front end. I think it feels like wallowy, where it just is like raw. It goes like this, rah, like that into tree wells every 4 seconds. I hate that. I like a stiffer front end. Guys are like, I take my sway bar off. I always run a sway bar. Like a stiffer feeling front end up there. So there's a lot that has to do with it. There's some good aftermarket stuff. That's why the RE is good. That I add a few clicks of compression in the rear, not a ton. I don't touch the rebound, and then I just run. I actually usually run the ski shocks on 2. Sometimes I'll click them to 3. I've also been riding the sled stock a lot, especially in the suspension department, so I can give good feedback to Lynx. I haven't been riding like this crazy valve suspension and stuff or anything crazy different, so I can give good feedback when they ask. So I do have a lot of experience with the stock stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like the thought on suspension. There's a lot of, I think, if you're running like a shredder RE, you have the shock on there that can be valved properly, that a good suspension guy can go in and build it right for you. There's a lot of those guys out there. Same goes with if you ride like a free ride, they have the KYB stuff. If you're a Polaris guy, they have the Walker Evans stuff, the what, I can't remember what they're called, but the velocity shocks. Oh yeah, like all that stuff can be revalved and built better. So there's lots of options out there that aren't nearly as expensive as like dropping a bunch of money on Fox shocks or something like that. So if that makes sense. Yeah. So, and then talking about the full rods, I love the full rod track. I don't like the flex edge. It just makes that sled feel unpredictable to me. I want the sled to side hill in a straight line, be rigid, cut its own line. Where the flex edge or the non-full rod tracks are good is when you're doing power turns in the meadow and you're like on the showroom floor, they tip over easy. All the stuff that is very like basic and like beginner level riding, they help there. But as soon as you put that snowmobile in a tougher situation, it isn't the same. Like it's not. It just wants to like wash out or go up, and the flex edge track is a huge part of that. So I'm glad we're full rod. That with T-Motion was like the whole thing that really did that. The flex edge did it a little bit more, I think, than just T-Motion, but both of them are kind of a huge thing. So full rod track for sure. Yeah, so talking about the rear skid, explaining the rear skid in the Lynx, it's actually more of like it's more of a fully uncoupled, it's semi-uncoupled. That's what we call it. So basically the rear track shock, if this is the front of the sled here, here's the front of the sled, the rear track shock sits more like this, whereas on like the Polaris and pretty much all the other sleds, the front track shock's like this, and then the rear track shock ties in basically to the bottom of the front track shock, which in return, if they always are affecting each other when they're like that. Whereas when it's tied in up here, the effect on each other is less. When the Lynx trail sleds are fully uncoupled. So the rear track shock is not connected to the front track shock linkage at all. So they move completely independently of each other. They have a really cool like display at the dealer show of that. And probably not enough guys saw it or know about it or understand really how it works, but it's really cool. I think it makes the sled way fun to ride. It likes to ride on its rear skid a lot more, and dude, it's fun. So I actually really do like that. Maybe the thing that you do feel with that setup the most is it is reboundy. In braking bumps, it likes to kind of go down the trail like that a little bit in braking bumps. But if you're under power, it wants to sit back and like, it's really fun. Like I was in these like big like rolling whoops in BC, and I was just like doubling everything, which is really cool. Just gonna roll this in the background.
Hello, everyone. We're so excited to.
Her Arctic Cat's gonna have a nitrous system? I highly doubt that. I don't know what they're gonna do. They need to do something over there in the power plant department. I think suspension stuff, Peyton, for both, it's just like regardless of what you're riding, is important. I don't think it I think all of it can be suspension helps you for sure, depending on what you're riding. So. The Lynx spindles compared to the new freeride spindles, I'm pretty sure they're identical, those spindles. The Skidoo Expert spindles are different than the freeride spindles. But I think the freeride spindles are the same in what we call the trail. And it's like literally a 3mm difference, but it does make the sled handle quite a bit differently. So. Muskoka rides and his 165 turbo always beats the Polaris turbo. That's good news. It also, the 165 or the turbo Polaris versus the turbo Do, a lot of that too is snow conditions, if I'm being honest. They're really comparable in a lot of, they're very, very, very competitive, like neck and neck. But I'm not gonna sit here and just be like, it kicks the crap out of the Polaris every single day. Like, that's just, depending on the snow conditions, it's different because of the way that those skids are set up, the approach angle, all this stuff. So dude, we got some new merch coming in. I have some, I just gotta take photos of it, if I'm being honest.
And whatever the conditions, the Commander RE is built to get you there with ease. And that starts with the Easy Ride Plus rear suspension. Longer suspension travel and new suspension calibrations mean more comfort and performance in every kind of bump, while a new rail design with a shallower angle of attack delivers better deep snow capability, allowing the sled
yeah, Joey, I
really
kind of know what you mean.
over top.
I guess.
Of course, when you
Kind of
hear
struggling
the
over there,
letters
unfortunately.
RE, you know it means massive. High performance KYB shocks, Kashima coated, 36 in the front and 46 in the back. So get ready to cruise over those moguls like you'd never dream possible. And Commander RE,
yeah, Ethan, I've been running the Elevate spindle for about a year now.
That has both
Rode
the
them,
torque to pull the
liked
heaviest
them,
loads
took them
and the
off
horsepower to keep you
to make sure I
smiling
liked them,
mile after
and I do
mile.
like them. So,
So now, with the Commander
and I
RE,
think they're,
you can go
I think they're
ahead and play as hard
for the
as
Lynx,
you
they're
work.
good. I really like them
It
there.
just
I don't
doesn't
know.
get more capable
I can't
or
speak on the
versatile
Skidoo
than this.
because it is quite different.
That's
It's the
super
same
fun.
spindle that
You know what
that
else
Ice
is
Age
fun,
sells,
Mark?
but it is quite different. And
Pizza.
then if you guys saw my story, what I
Let's
did
head
on
out
them is I
into the
basically,
drifts with
they
another
have
new
this like
novelty for
new
our
heel thing
Scandinavian riders. Plus,
that keeps
something
that
pretty
ski
exciting for our North American
like
ones
straight
as well.
and a little bit more rigid.
Few years now,
So
we've had our eye on the growing trend of shredding the deep stuff with a shorter track sled. Riders who see snow
dude,
terrain
soft wash.
as just one big amusement
He's
park
from
have been
Finland.
getting their kicks
Lynxes are from Finland. They're made in Finland.
that a shorter track delivers.
This guy, dude.
A picture's worth 1,000 words. So let's take a look at what the
And
blast
BRP is a
Andrea
French-Canadian
had
company.
recently
So I don't know if you know this,
on the
but
Lynx
in,
Shredder RE3700,
they speak French up
which is
there. That's
just
their
a
main language.
146-inch
So,
track.
dude. Also, if you can't understand a little bit of an accent, you're out of. What are you doing? Dude, I do need to stay caffeinated. This isn't I was gonna get an energy drink before I did this, but how much is the
Let's face it, Andrea
Evan, how
still
much is
would
the
blow us
how much is the 9R?
up even further when I tell you that in that video, Andreas is riding the 2024 Shredder RE 3700 with a 600R E-Tech engine.
You all know the Shredder RE 3700 as the most fun and furious.
Do we know? 300 less than a boost.
Deep snow brute on the hill.
I have no idea what they would price a, like, let's just say a 900 Lynx at. I have no idea.
600R E-Tech engine.
300, it would be nicer if it was like $1,000, at least $1,000 cheaper. I agree with that. But 21.5 or 22. Damn. Yeah, those are spendy. Dude, it's out of control. I remember, I'm not that old. I'm 27, and I remember when they were like 11 grand. Now they're 22. What the hell? Montana Sledder just funding my caffeine habits. Thank you, my guy. Always.
With the 850 E-Tech Turbo R engine. Yeah.
Leap. I hate to hear that, my guy. Sucks to have a down sled. I think there were some issues with the codes. There was a few computer things that they had, so it's a bummer.
Craziness Lynx riders have for tackling situations that seem impossible. Well, for
It's crazy how they use Bergmark for all the jumps. I don't really understand why. It's not like he's Bergmark or anything.
no matter how extreme the conditions might be.
When your idea of fun is eating those rough trails for breakfast, nothing satisfies quite like the Lynx Rave RE. Race ready right out of the box, delivering an active motocross-style riding experience that lets you wheelie right over the harshest bumps.
And when it's a thirst for adventure that calls you to the trails, the Fearless X-Terrain is the ready for anything. Nothing is impossible.
Put you in timeout, my guy.
To take you there. Originally developed for extreme adventure racing, the X-Terrain pushes the trail riding right to the edge of bold new boundaries and beyond.
Now, for the first time, these trail and crossover snowmobiles are revved up to take you to new horizons with the awesome Radian 2 platform.
Introducing the 2024 Lynx Rave.
Yeah, Brant is still building some of the craziest stuff out there for sure. He's just about it. I've had ideas. Maybe I might build a crazy, like a lightweight Lynx or something, but it's just hard to justify how expensive it is and how much work it is. I like to just ride my snowmobile. I don't love to absolutely spend all the time and money on all the crazy stuff. And I mean, it's cool for sure. Those things are monsters. And yeah, it's good for the industry that he keeps building that stuff, to be honest. Because, yeah, it keeps pushing everybody for sure. Yeah, Evan, you're right. He's like, I was actually going to I was trying to figure out how to post about that. There's 5 guys who are still finishing their builds of this year's sled. And it's March, which is fine. I mean, it's fine, but also I'm just want to go rip and make videos and have fun.
Plus, you get all the benefits of the new Radian 2 platform. Refinements everywhere.
The 10-inch display is cool. It's still early for that display. What I mean by that is the features it's not super feature rich yet. Basically they have the hardware in place. So in the next, as they come up with software updates and all this stuff, they will be able to produce really cool features, and then everything will be, you can update it through Wi-Fi. So basically the hardware's there now, the software's still catching up, the integration's still catching up, all that stuff. Hopefully they are talking with Polaris and they're going to have a full-on ride thing where you can see all of your riders from a safety aspect. It's just what we need. We can't have I don't want to just be able to see my guys on BRP product, and they shouldn't be able to just see their guys on a player's product. Everything should work together. It would be really cool if they do that, and hopefully they do.
Dream is about to become reality, exclusively for our Scandinavian riders, from dense forests to steep hills to deep snow.
Yeah, dude. Jay and Blaine. Jay and Blaine are building. If you guys don't know what's happening, so in Jackson, it is. Did he post this? In Jackson this year, it's 20 years of Rev. So the first year, the Snowmobile Pro, Steve. The first year of Rev was in 03. So technically the Revs can race vintage class now. So we have Kooster, he's got some stuff up his sleeve, and Steve Martin, like they're a team, versus Jay and Blaine, and they're all gonna race. And I don't know if there's gonna be some other guys that have Revs or what, but because that Rev kind of changed the game. I actually haven't seen this, so let's watch it.
Purple farm fuel. Jet fuel.
How do you know when it's full?
When it comes out the top.
Perfect. Pro tip.
I'm pretty sure they made a deal that they had like a $2,500 budget also. It has a carbon fiber skid in it, Steve. Sounds nice. I need some more volume. Look at that little guy go. Steve's isn't fair. Yeah.
How is it?
Holy shit, it's fast.
Right on.
Oh, it's so crazy. Way faster than I thought it was going to be.
Cool.
Pretty sure it has titanium A-arms, carbon fiber skid,
Perfect.
twins.
Even better. Load it up.
All right, let's roll. All
Steve's
right,
is done.
2003 Rev
Here we go.
race mod that we're going to race in Jackson Hole in just a little over a week. So here it is. We're going to give you a quick rundown and show exactly what we did. Up front, we were using a 39-inch front end. This is originally an MXE, so it came with a 42-inch front end, but we had those 39-inch A-arms upstairs. We powder coated them just for fun. These are shocks off of an XM. They're the same length, so we had those laying upstairs too. These were actually off an old hill climber of ours, so that worked out pretty good. We're actually using a Gen 4 Summit spindle. It raises it up a little bit. We're trying to get the front end to sit up high, trying to get over rock stumps.
Is that legal,
put on
Steve?
edge at a really high speed. These are the DS3 skis, same thing that's on a 2024 Summit X. So that's really cool. Got really deep, aggressive keel.
Is that also
really
legal, Steve?
We're using Gen 4 handlebars.
Is that legal,
The
Steve?
Skinny grip. These came off my 21 Freeride Turbo. So that's a cool upgrade. This is a Gen 4 open mod seat base.
Is that legal, Steve?
Swindled it out of Jay.
This thing's a brand new sled.
So Gen 4 seat, that's why I wanted it. Bolts right on there with a Gen 4 console. So everything, it's funny enough, this Gen 4 console fit underneath the Rev console really well. And in a genuine Rev mod hand-built aluminum tank. No mod's complete without aluminum tank. Gen 4 taillight, because it looks cool. And this is a whole Gen 4 geometry, 146 rear skid with the carbon fiber rails. Use this out of the lightweight build, so a lot of recycle, reuse around here, but nothing goes to waste, so it's a lot of fun. We just started testing and we're really happy. It handles well and it's wicked fast. So let's pull side panels off it.
So we did the best we could with what we had laying around here to replicate an 800 mod motor that we would have used back in the day, you know, 03, 04. So it has ported cylinders, a Trigstead cylinder head, and pipes. Factory mod pipes.
Twin pipes.
Wait till the kids with the Chevys with the big tires look like they're going downhill all the time. See those pipes. Other than that, pretty much a stock setup. Rack carbs, a little bit of jetting.
We wanted rack carbs because they flow a little more than those TMXs.
Right,
correct?
and I like the way they're supported on the bulkhead.
And then
Twin pipes, baby. Twin
this
pipes.
little air box we
Aiden,
ran
quit
on
giving me your
valves.
money.
Hill crosser at the X Games.
You gotta buy a new sled
Flows a little
next
more
year.
than those little pod air filters. So we're not really worried about roofs. And that's why we'd have to run those little air filters, a little more surface area. But this should flow a little more. Running the 440 primary and a team secondary. So that's the stuff we used.
Pretty much snowcross stuff from back in the day.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
Cool.
So it's ready
That's
to roll.
all the secrets we're gonna let go.
Yep. Indeed. It's gonna look a little different by the time we get there, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right here, that's like the gauge hanging down there.
How's it going, guys? We're back. This one's gonna be a little different. We've been having a lot of fun this winter, riding some brand new Gen 5s, but we've also been having a lot of fun messing with some revs. This year we're doing a thing to celebrate the 20 years of rev. We're building a vintage race sled to race the. He also tried to sell me that red piece of shit sitting next to it, but I don't own a boat. Jay and Blaine Show, or as I like to call them, Jane, they're attempting to build one, but ours is coming along really well. We bought kind of a basket case from a buddy of mine for $1,500, and this is the kind of condition it was in. He also tried to sell me that red piece of shit sitting next to it, but I don't own a boat. But after a lot of cutting, grinding.
See, Steve will put in the man hours.
Some welding and some hammers. We got it straight.
We love that. VX, are you talking about a Lynx turbo, like a mountain
starting to
sled,
look really good.
4500? Because I don't think so. Yes, there is a
Up in Alpine, and I saw their expert tuning skills.
4500 there. I mean, the Rave is a 4500, isn't it? Look at these knuckleheads.
You goof.
This was like this was like in February.
I was also really impressed with where they kept their rev. The rules for this build are simple.
This is a good video, Steve.
$5,000. That's for the snowmobile parts and everything.
Oh, 17. Oh, I was thinking 30. I was thinking 3,500. No, I don't think there will be a 75 ever.
Ran around looking
I just don't think the market's there for it.
overpaying for everything they bought. But I have a secret weapon. We've been storing rev parts for over 20 years.
Dude, it's tough to go against Steve and Carl. Those two guys have been in the game forever. Look at those side panels.
What are you looking for?
Rev parts.
It's gonna be so sick to see. Yeah, I just don't think Lynx is gonna go compete against Skidoo in the 75 category. Because Polaris is out. I'm pretty sure they don't even make one anymore. Dew is the only one that still runs a 75. I know they don't sell a ton of them.
But this isn't our first time around the block. My dad has built multiple race-winning revs in the past. We've won snowcross races, hill climbs, hill cross, so we know the recipe. In your opinion, what is the most unreliable part of a race sled?
The rider.
Rider.
Oh!
I know they're world-class riders, but I have something hanging on my wall that shows I'm a better mechanic than they are. Let me show you. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is a genuine Ski-Doo certificate.
A genuine Ski-Doo certificate technician.
So we did our own running around at Heydays.
Hey, Steve, come fix my shit.
Putting a triple in this thing. And so we bought one. Ripped it all apart at Heydays.
Shout out, we used a Smirnoff bottle to plug the gas tank.
And as far as I know, that thing is halfway across Canada in the back of someone's truck. I've never heard of it since. So when I got home from Heydays, I told my dad, we're putting a triple in this thing. And he did not have a lot of faith in us. So he built 2 800 mods. They're brand new. We're building 2 just in case we get a little carried away tuning and squeak one. So we just throw another one in it.
Steve is treating this like it's the freaking
2 800 mods.
X Games 06.
Where's Blaine's? Here it is. This is basically your creation. I'm kind of like the biscuits of this project.
They didn't even show it in this video. Dude, Steve and his dad are gonna kill everybody. I actually saw what Carl had stuff going on in BC. I'm not gonna say what he was working on, but the dude was going hard. Ye and Blaine are about as good as I am at putting videos out. They haven't had one out in 3 weeks, so. Yeah, nobody's making videos. The BRP world, geez, we got to get our act together, guys. Dude, it would be so cool to get an old, like, I'd have to literally put a Lynx in a container and ship it over here. That'd be tough. Maybe someday. All right, guys, got any questions? Wrap this thing up here in a minute. I only had to ban one person tonight. That's pretty good. Because he couldn't understand a Finnish accent. And then he's like acting like I'm the bad guy after I roasted him for making fun of people with an accent. What? X-Terrain and X-Terrain Brutal. I actually have an X-Terrain, not this new one, but a last year's in the shop right now that my mom's been riding around. She rides a turbo 900 4-stroke X-Terrain. Yeah, she's a big deal. And it's actually really fun snowmobile. I think I'm going to do a full video on it here pretty quick. But the Brutal is a really cool sled as well. I talked about it earlier in the video. I think it's like kind of underrated for what it can do and what it could be for a lot of people. Hopefully, I would love to get my hands on one. Maybe I will someday and be able to, like, I want to take it snowboarding and just like adventure riding because it's kind of built for that, like long haul, just comfortable, but also can, you know, get stuff done and you can still do power turns on it. If it gets stuck, you're going to be really stuck because it has a 20-inch wide track, 154. It has piggybacks on the front. They updated the skid in it. It's really like, it's a cool snowmobile. I want to get one and ride one and do like a full like video on it. And like, so I have a really good actual like idea on it. So maybe next year, put that on the list because I get a lot of questions about it and there's really no content about it or anything. Like we don't know what this snowmobile is capable of and it would be fun to do something more like that. You, I think, are right. Tire Smoke. Tire Smoke knows what he's talking about when the import game. Yeah, might as well just fill a container. For sure. But this, so next year, I didn't even really talk about this. Next year, I'm ordering a 3900 Turbo RE and a 3700 Turbo RE. So a 54 and a 46 turbos. I ordered 2 of those for sleds next year, so it's gonna be super fun. Excited to ride those, and yeah, it'll be good. I wonder if they updated my ambassador picture. Nope. Still absolutely hideous. Honestly, none of these are great. I'm being frank. We need to update this big time, guys. Look at that nerd. Jeez. Big nerd. Big nerd. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. Kind of tired. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Pretty good little run. Do you guys want me to do more of these? Do you think like if I did this regularly, it would take off? I don't know. Greg, you're going to have to cut me a pretty big check for that information. I actually have no idea. They don't tell me anything until I need to know. So 6 or 9 more. Okay, thanks for the love, guys. Oh yeah, you have you got to snow check your shit here in the next 2 weeks, so or you just won't get a Lynx, and then that's how it goes because we're spring check only, baby. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. I will see you guys soon. Maybe more lives soon. Okay.